Can you see me and hear me? I'm back, I think. Hello? Okay, hey Linda. So I had done the Tower of Glory, which is an 18 by 24. Sometime in the past week or so, it was part of my 30-day art challenge. And I started with what I wanted, kind of like an abstract feel, and that didn't work. And then I turned it into this. So, okay, I got some people coming in. Yay! Thank you for being so patient with me. So today I'm going to do another 18 by 24. I got my canvas ready. I've got my push pins in the corner. And I'm using mostly Arteza because I really love Arteza. I have 12 packs that are the large ones that are 4 ounces, which are would be the same amount as in a big tube of paint. So I've got some of those, and I've got the 60 count, which are the little tubes, which are less than an ounce of paint. And so the combination of those two and just a couple of others mixed in. And I've got a rainbow of colors because you know me, I love my color. So I'm going to very quickly go through the colors, and everything is mixed up except for one color, and I wanted to mix it for you while you watch. So I'm just making sure that we are really live before I get started here. I'm putting my piece of tape down here to remind me where I can't go past. So the first color I have mixed up is the Arteza lemon yellow and a little bit of deep yellow mixed in with it, so it wasn't so pale looking. So that's that one. This is orange yellow by Arteza. This one is crimson red by Arteza. I meant to look the pronunciation of this one up. Cochineal red, Cochineal. I have never heard that kind of red before, but it's an Arteza color. It's kind of a raspberry color. It's really pretty. So it's like a pinky red, whereas that's more of a deep red. And then this one is...
Nisa just gave you $50.
Whoa, Nisa! Thank you for that fabulous tip. Y'all didn't even know that I have a free print to give away for whoever gave the largest tip. So that's going to be pretty hard to beat, Nisa. I'll show you the print in just a second. So this is magenta light and rose together to make this kind of a lighter rose color. This is Artist Loft Neon Pink. And I put a little bit of the magenta light into it to deepen it just a bit so it wasn't so like boom neon in your face. And that's the one I'm going to add my mixture to and show you how I do it. This one is Master's Touch, which is called Gray Purple. And it's kind of a cross between a blue and a purple. This one is Arteza Ultramarine Blue. This one is Turquoise by Artist Loft. Phthalo Green by Arteza. And Pale Green by Arteza. So I've got one left to mix, and my ratio is always 1-to-1 paint to Floetrol or Oatrol. I am using Oatrol because I still have some Oatrol left, and they graciously give me free product to demo for you. It's European. You can get it from Oatrol's website, and you can get it from Amazon. It is a lot more expensive than Floetrol. It's very smooth and self-leveling, very good quality. So I've got my paint in here, and I'm going to add as much Owatrol as I do paint, and I just eyeball it, usually from the side of the cup. And if I'm not sure, I put in a little extra over putting in a little less, because some people use 2 parts of Floetrol or Owatrol to 1 part paint. So you can always go a little bit over 1 part if you want to. It's not going to hurt at all, because Arteza paints are so full of pigment. They're very rich and dense in color. And so you can always put a little bit more Floetrol or Owatrol into your color. And this is like super, super, super thick. This is also mostly Artist Loft on this one, because it had the Artist Loft neon pink in it. And the Artist Loft sometimes can get really thick. Super thick. Okay, so now I've got my water. And the water is 10% Owatrol to 90% water. If you use Floetrol, 10% Floetrol to 90% water. So it's going to take probably a good amount of water, because this is I wanted a really big cup of this color because I love this color and I wanted extra, just in case. And anything that I always have left over from my pours, I usually add them to my squeeze bottles once I'm finished. Still too thick. So you want your consistency to be like a thick cream or a warm honey dripping off your stick in a steady stream. You don't want it to drip like water. And if it doesn't fall off your stick, that means it's way too thick. So, I don't know if you can see, but it's in a steady stream. I'm going to put just a touch more water because it is still on the thicker side, but that should be all the water I need to add to it. And so I'm going to do a dirty pour on a black canvas. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead, let's see, I'll probably go ahead and skim coat out my black canvas really quick before I put the paint colors in the cup. Okay. So I'm going to move my Owatrol out of the way. I do have black and white. Those are Artist Loft, and they're mixed 50-50 with Owatrol, 1 part to 1 part, and then water. There's no silicone or anything, but I'm going to use my favorite thing, OGX, coconut milk. And if you push the pump down, I'm going to show you in my hand. That's how much comes out in a pump. This is like way, way, way too much for any of these cups. I could maybe put a big drop into this bigger cup, but that's way too much to put into any of these colors, and these are full 3-ounce cups. What I do is I put one drop, not a pump, 1 drop. So I very carefully squeeze until I just get 1 drop to come out from the tip. So I'm not putting the full pump because the pump is just too much. OGX goes a long way with just a little drop of the product. It also lasts forever. This OGX bottle I have had forever. So I'm putting 1 drop in my colors. And then I'm just going to stir a couple of times. And the OGX is what makes the magic happen. I just love OGX, and it smells so delicious. It doesn't really smell like coconut. That's the weird part. It just has kind of a tropical smell. Okay, I didn't stir my hot pinks. I'm going to give it a few more stirs just because it's a large cup.
Sharon just gave 20.
Thank you, Sharon, for your donation. So, okay, I'm gonna pull it out real quick, and then I'll pull it out a little bit later too. So I gave away a free print that was matted and framed called Boom. So this is Boom. It's a digital print. And I did this digital print from an acrylic pour. And I have this nice heavy-duty print. It's an 11 by 11. And then it's got some extra space. I'm giving this print away to the one who tipped the most today. So Nisa has already started out before I even mentioned it. But this is what is going to be given to the highest tip today. But I'm just here to pour and have fun. So I'm bringing out the black canvas. Oh, and I get one of these sink strainers that have the wire mesh. And that's what I put over all of my cups when I was pouring my Oatrol. This Oatrol has been like perfect. It hadn't had any flugers in it. But if you're using Floetrol, which you're always pretty much going to have flugers, this is a great little friend to have. You just stick it over your cup and you pour your Oatrol or Floetrol through it. So I'm going to skim coat out this black canvas real quick. And I've got this little Wilton fondant and icing tool. So it's just a little plastic tool. Wilton is a cake company, cake and icing company. And this spreads your paint like super easy and super smooth. So I'm just going to put a quick skim coat, not very thick, just to help the paint kind of glide around and have something wet to touch when it gets on the canvas, when I pour here. This does not have any silicone in it. Just make sure you get good coverage to the corners and the sides and all that good stuff. And then I just take the excess that's on the scraper and I just kind of slide it around my edges. And that gets the paint onto the edge of your canvas as well. Okay, so we're ready to do a dirty pour. And a dirty pour, for those of us that know what a dirty pour is, it's when you pour your colors into a cup and they intermingle with each other. Sometimes you can put them kind of gradient to where you layer them up and they don't intermingle as much. So I kind of wanted to do something similar to the Tower of Glory. I really liked that one. And when I did that one, I kind of started with colors in the middle. And I'm going to do the same thing again, just a little bit more haphazard, because that's where I started with my other one. I was trying to get kind of an abstract feel and it didn't quite work like I expected. And watch it work today, because that's usually the way it happens. When you don't want it to work, it does, and when you want it to work, it doesn't. So I'm just putting kind of a rainbow of colors around. And let's put some hot pink. Yeah. Do I have I got periwinkle. I don't have to have every color, but I've got most of them. So let's take the old store card. This is a fabulous tool. The great thing about a store card is you can twist your wrist and you can either hold it lengthwise where it's wider, or you can hold it at the end where it's shorter. But it's easy to move your wrist when you're swiping with a store card. I don't care really how the swipe looks. This is going to be under my pour. So I'm just kind of moving the paint around. And then I'm going to do my pour over this, which is what I did the last time. And anytime you swipe, you usually clean your tool off because you don't want to dirty up your tool. Let's go back this way too. So I've already got some great cell action going on already from that fabulous OGX. And it makes the most gorgeous cells. I'm going to take, this is the same paint, black, it's just in a squirt bottle. I'm going to add it just in a few places where I kind of scrape down to the canvas a little bit. But now I'm going to do our dirty pour. So remember, whatever goes into the bottom comes out on the top. And I remember y'all asking that when I did my Facebook Live, why do I put my white at the bottom? Because usually, like if you put the black on the top, then the black is going to be on top of your colors. And I'm never quite sure how the black is going to affect it. So let's play today. And let's do black on one half of the cup and white on the other half. So we're going to split it right down the middle, and then we're going to put our colors in. And see, I don't even remember how I put my colors in last time, but I think I'm going to start with like the darkest colors, and then I'll move into the lightest colors, but a rainbow, kind of in a gradient rainbow colored pour. So I think I'm going to start with the periwinkle. And I need pretty much a full cup is what I'm aiming for, which is 16 ounces. So I'm going to layer this up kind of, but I'm also letting it kind of go in. I'm letting it sink down in as well. So even though I'm putting them in a rainbow order, I'm allowing them to sink down into the paint. Okay, I'm just going to throw in a little squirt of white just for the fun of it. Now some yellow. Orange. Then I'll do...
Lisa was wondering if you get better cells if you pour high, or does it matter?
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters how high. When you pour high, it just causes the paint to sink deeper, so the colors intermingle a little bit more. But you know, you can lay your paint out on the canvas and swipe and get huge cells. So the way you layer them in there doesn't matter about. It doesn't make any difference about the cell formation. Let's see. I don't think I've used this one yet, which is that funky red color, cochineal, whatever that was. Okay, so hot pink, a good amount of hot pink. Now I'm going to throw in a little bit of black. This is going to be a surprise in the cup, right? So we're going to start again. And I'm going to layer it again because I've only got half a cup of paint. So we're going to go through the colors again. The phthalo green, the pale green. The turquoise. The light, it's called gray purple was what it was called. That beautiful ultramarine blue. I'm going to throw a shot of white. I never have any method to my madness when it comes to... I don't worry about paint densities and things like that. I just pour from my gut. Let's see. I'm going to switch this one up a little bit and do this pretty lighter red and this violet color. And red. This hot pink color. Yellow. I mean, that was orange. That was not yellow, obviously. I'm thinking one thing and another thing is coming out of my mouth. Okay. Here it is. This actually kind of looks neat. I kind of like it. But we're going to pour over it kind of in a funky way. And I didn't use all the paint in my cup either. So see how OGX works? There's a big bubble. When you pop the bubble, the black showed up. How OGX comes out pretty much immediately. Like I don't have to put any heat to it, and these cells are just popping up all by themselves. People say all the time they cannot get cells. And I think to myself, why can't you get cells? If you use OGX, you're going to have cells. Now, if you use too much OGX, it may not work as well. So I'm letting this sit for a few minutes. I'm going to clean up some of my mess as we wait. But we're waiting for this magic to happen. That needs to stay open. So I have a heat gun, and I'm just going to very lightly hit it. That's all. Because what happens when you put your heat gun on it is it doesn't bring up large cells, it brings up the little tiny small cells. I don't know if you can see that. But there's little tiny dots. I don't know if the camera is picking it up or not. Those little tiny dots are what happened with the heat. So all this other stuff that's happening with the cells is all the OGX.
Golden reward, golden reward. Would paint quality inhibit cells?
Paint quality would not inhibit cells. I did a video or two the other day using paints from Walmart. And you'll get big, beautiful cells even with Walmart paint. It was Daler Rowney was the brand, and they come in tubes, and they're actually really good quality paint. But you can also get Deco Art and Folk Art and Craft Smart. All those come from Walmart, and they can be cheaper. You can get the same beautiful cells with OGX with those paints as well as you can with these. And this 60-piece set that I got from Arteza online, I think it was from Amazon. I want to say the price was, well, actually on their website, they did have a special, and I don't know if it's still going on. You could get the 60-piece set, I think, for $35 to $40 and free shipping. They're excellent quality paints, and unfortunately they don't sell them individually. They only sell them in sets. The 12-pack, which is the big 4-ounce 12-pack, it's cheaper. So they almost come out to the same price as you would pay for dollar paints at the dollar store or at Walmart or wherever. So I'm going to tilt this a little bit. I actually put way more paint on this canvas than I did the other one called the Tower of Glory. And I don't know if you remember on the Tower of Glory, I'm going to turn it around so y'all can see this. The way I envisioned it was it being, broader down at the bottom and coming up thin, but I had so much paint that came out of my cup that it's actually pretty thick regardless. But I'm going to let this go down a little bit. It's funny how you see things in your painting. Like this looks like a trunk, an elephant trunk here. And so I want to kind of get rid of that. I don't want it to look like an elephant trunk. So I'm going to switch it back this way a little bit. So it's funny when I put white and black in on the bottom of the cup. Remember, that was the first thing I put in. Neither one of them really showed up on the top. There is some black right here in between these cells. I don't know. Let me zoom in. So you see the black right here between the cells? Otherwise, that's the only place that the black really showed up. I want to get this off of here though. So I can also just take my card and swipe it to get rid of a shape. And let's see. I think I want to put some green right here because I talked about I like to put a complementary color against a complementary color. So the pinkish red family is the complementary is green. So I'm going to put a little bit of the phthalo green and the pale green and this hint of yellow. I'm going to turn this around again. I have to see this vision from this way. Make sure my swiping item, can you get me a couple of paper towels that are wet for me? Okay, I'm going to come over this hot pink area here. That wasn't bold enough. I need more. Maybe I'm going to throw a little turquoise in right there. And a little bit of yellow. And I need like 3 or 4 together. Too much water. Get a scoop out. All that. Don't break it apart. Let's see. I have got some screening, and I like this because you cannot put pressure on it. You can try all you want to, and you can't put pressure. That way it very softly drags. So I'm just using that to drag just for the heck of it. Just to show you how it does. I want something really strong right through here. So I'm going to take a cup and I'm going to put red, orange, yellow, and white. I'll take my skewer and give it a little spin. Voila! Oh no! Be patient. We're going to be patient and let it see if any cells come up. Ooh, but I know what I want to do.
Did you mean to do that?
Yeah. I meant to do it. My husband asked me if I meant to do that. It's like, yes, I meant to do it. Let's even put a little bit of blue right along the edge here. I don't plan most of my pours. I just kind of go with the flow when I actually do it. I'm going to pull out my pool trowel. My pool trowel. I haven't pulled it out in a while. And I've been dying to do a big piece with the pool trowel, so that's going to be coming up here soon. So I'm going to swipe this area right here. Now I'm going to go back over the edge of it. And now I'm going to take my card and just slightly blend it in there. Make sure it's clean. This is bizarre. Y'all just have to bear with me, okay? So something needs to happen right here.
Oh, okay, dude.
What was that?
Drop the
This is pretty. I just want to take do I want to use this? Do I want to use my card? So I'm using the same little cup, and I'm going to take this out this way. Add a little bit of yellow. I'll use my paint scraper this time. And there's one little area right here. I'm going to take it off. And that was from the original abstract thing that I put on there. So you just refill it in with your black. And you just level it out. Let's see, I'm not loving that right there. So you never know what's going to happen when you do a pour. You just kind of go with it, see what happens. It's kind of like a flipper. It kind of looks like flipper right now. I got this one area from blue from underneath.
Barbara Stryker is asking about OGX versus OMX. She called it OMX, but it's OGX.
Yes, OGX is coconut milk hair serum. It has dimethicone in it. You can't use just any coconut milk or coconut oil or whatever. It's a specific hair product. If you look below my video, there's an Amazon link, and it has recommendations for all the products that I use, and it's right near the top because this is so popular. So I'm going to take this yellow here, and I'm going to just very, very gently drag it into this area here. This is really bizarre. I know y'all are thinking, this is funky. Okay, so here it's kind of boring. So let's maybe do something that's blue. Maybe a little phthalo green. Some turquoise. Some of the pale green. Maybe a little yellow. Gotta make sure my card is clean. The OGX is the secret to these huge cells. They grow on you. They literally grow. There's some hot pink down here, which I really love. I'm going to add a little bit more into it. And a little of that magenta color. And I'm going to very, very softly bring that out.
Is it harder to clean off the paintings before varnish?
No,
OGX?
the OGX is not any harder to clean off than silicone. I actually usually do not have a lot of residue left from OGX, but I do clean it just like I would with silicone. I clean it with the Dawn degreasing dish liquid.
Barbara Stryker, what's the amount that you use for OGX?
So the amount of OGX that I used in this pour was a tiny, tiny drop in each color, not a pump, because I displayed at the beginning of the video. When this live video is over with, it'll be in my library, and you can always go back and watch it. And at the very beginning, when I'm showing you how I put the OGX in, I put a pump in my hand, and it's way, way, way too much for little 3-ounce cups of color. So you only want to drop, a tiny drop in each color. I did put a bigger drop in this 8-ounce cup of paint, so it has a bigger drop. It doesn't even have really a full pump. But it takes very, very little OGX to make huge cells. The key is to use very little. Let's see if we can bring this hot pink out a little bit. So this looks nothing like my Tower of Glory, obviously. It's very strange and bizarre, I agree. I got some green in there. I'm going to swipe off the canvas. I didn't like it. So I'm just putting the black back on to cover up what I scraped off. And I'll take my little Wilton tool and just very gently spread that black back out. You know, you can even take your straw and blow areas if you want to. I'm not going to do a lot because it's already pretty much taken over the canvas. I want to add something right here. It's pretty dull. So I think I'll put some of this periwinkle, the ultramarine blue. Let's do some green beside it. And maybe just a hint of white. So we're going to turn it back around and then you can see it that way too. So I'm just going to try to drag, well, the canvas is already a little bit dry right here in that spot from the black. It has dried. So you always want to make sure you have wet paint beside your paint or it's not going to move for you. So I'm going to take just kind of drag it through, and that did not turn out the way I wanted it to. So we're going to do it again.
Carol says if you turn it sideways that it looks like almost like a fish. A stylized oriental fish.
It looks like a big fat fish, doesn't it? It looks like a big fat fish. That might be what this ends up being, a big fat fish. What do you think? It's kind of weird.
People are starting to see the fish now.
They see the fish? If you see the fish, they will come. Okay. You know what? I'm going to say I'm done with this one. It's wild, it's bizarre, it's different. I love the big plump cells and I don't want to do anything else to it. I could do something right through the middle of it. So do you want me to leave it or you want me to do something right through the middle of it? Tell me. What do you think? Sell it to a pet store. Do an eye. I see a fish. Okay, so would the eye be here? So, let me turn it. Now this has to be an abstract fish. I can't make it look real because I totally want it to look abstract.
Linda says leave it. Tammy says leave it. Strange, bizarre, or good sometimes. Looks like an alien fish. Leave it. Needs an eye. Then leave it.
I could put something about right there. What do y'all think?
Walk away. In the yellow for the eye. Do a bug eye. Leave it.
So this would be the bottom. So it hadn't turned yet.
No eye. Sell it to a sweet fisherman's widow. Agree.
Here, we're gonna put a black dot and some purple. and a little ultramarine at the bottom of it.
No, no, no. Leave it.
No?
Do the eye in yellow. You did a great abstract.
So it's going to go back in because there's so much paint on this canvas, it's sinking back in. Can you move the stuff off the
what?
off the counter, the oven? Move the stuff. Okay, so I'm swirling it in so it doesn't look like an intended eye, kind of. Okay. So it kind of looks like a cell. It doesn't look like an eye. Maybe I should just bring some of this color through here a little bit. I'm very gently dragging. Okay. So there it is. It is weird. Okay. I'm going to move this one, and I have one more to do for you.
It looks like a grumpy fish. You know, it's got a sad...
I might make a smile out of it.
Right here. It's like, I'm grumpy.
Okay. So I have one more canvas to do, and so I need a vote. Do I do a big striped swipe with the rainbow colors? Do you want a swipe, or do you want a sink strainer pour? I need...
We got one for sink strainer.
Sink strainer.
One for swipe. 3 for swipe. No swipe. Swipe. So 4 and 2. 5 and 2. 6 and 2.
I'm giving you a minute to think about it.
7 and 3. Either 8 and 3, 9 and 3, 9 and 4, 9 and 5, 9 and 6, 10 and 6.
Here.
11 and 6.
Get these wet.
11 and 7.
Get them wet and...
What?
Get them wet and squeeze them out for me. That needs to be rinsed off first. Okay, so I have a 16 by 20 here. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit closer. So I was thinking about a sink strainer pour to look like a flower, multicolored flower. Okay? So that was my idea about a sink strainer pour, or I can take these lovely colors and put them on the canvas and do a pretty swipe to show you how to do a swipe with your OGX in your paint, where you get a little bit bigger cells. So let me go back and see. I'm looking at my comments here. I think I got more swipes than I do strainers.
Do you have an 8x8? You could do a small strainer afterward?
Well, I could do. I have a 12 by 12. I could do one on here too. Oh goodness, I don't know what to do.
A swipe, then a strainer on top.
A swipe with a strainer on top, that might look funky.
There you go, there's a whole bunch right there.
Thank you. They're dripping. You gotta squeeze them. Yeah, get the water out more. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Oh my goodness, what do I do? I kind of want to do a strainer pour. And I want to do a puddle pour in the strainer. I want to do a puddle pour. Instead of out of the cup thing, I want to do puddles of color. But it's going to have cells, so when it spreads out, it's going to do funky stuff because it has OGX in it. So that's what I'm thinking about on the sink strainer is a flower that goes out with multicolors and it has the cells, so it's going to do its funky thing. And we can learn together what happens. What do you think? Let's go for the strainer. We can do the strainer, and then if you want me to do a swipe, I can do a swipe on the 12-inch. How about that? This will be fun. Okay? So because I want to do flowers, but I'm going to start with the dark colors first, like the leafy colors. So I'm going to start with the phthalo. I'm not wetting my canvas with anything, nothing yet. Okay? Now I'm going to do green. So instead of pouring all this into a cup and then doing a dirty pour on here or whatever, I'm just going to do it straight into puddle pours. Okay, so there's the turquoise. And I'm going to put some ultramarine blue. And then I'm going to switch up and I'm going to add some white for some contrast. Now this purple gray color, which is like a periwinkle to me, which happens to be my favorite color. Okay, let's do some turquoise again. And now I'm going to start on my flower colors. So I'm going to do some dark red. It's coming out pretty. Let's do orange. Yellow. I apparently dripped something in my yellow. It's streaky. Now let's do some of this dark hot pink. Thank you for watching, Amy. Be safe on your flight. You can always catch it later. Now I'm going to put some white again. Okay, before I go any further, I'm going to stick. Sometimes your surface is not as level as you think it is. So I'm going to put popsicle sticks under this side of the canvas, so that it won't keep going that way, because I really would like to keep it centered if I can. But now, before I go any further, I'm going to put something on here. so that this paint will move a little bit easier. I think what I'm going to do, instead of water, instead of white paint, I'm going to put a little bit of Oatrol on my canvas. I'm going to go right up to the edge but not quite touch it. Still wanting to go that way, isn't it? Okay. I just wanted to wet that before I went any further. Now let's do this pretty funky red, which is kind of a pinky red. And let's do a bunch of hot pink. I got a lot of hot pink. Now I'm going to do some white. I'm going to go back to what's left of my turquoise. Maybe a little bit of this ultramarine. Now the deep red again. Go for the dark fuchsia. It's taking its time moving. Do some white again. And there's that pretty red. I'm going to finish up the orange again. And yellow. Now, I'm going to let that kind of sink for a little while. Maybe I need to move the paint a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to move it too much yet. I've not been real successful at strainer pours yet. So what do you think? Should I keep adding colors or take the strainer off and tilt it a little bit? Tell me what you think. I don't know. I didn't expect this blue and green to really stay so predominant. Should I take the strainer out Add more
The
colors.
post says do more magic. Lisa just added another.
Oh, wow, Nisa.
And Tammy Reese.
Thank you,
added
Tammy.
5.
Thank you so much. What do I want to do? I almost want to take the strainer off and see it in the middle. And then
Charlene, we do not have a turntable yet.
I do have a turntable. If I put it on a turntable, I'm afraid I'll sling paint all over my dining room chairs and all. I need something to go around my table to keep the splatter. So I do have a turntable, but I've not used it. So, oh goodness, what do I do? I'm going to put a little black right in the middle. I don't even know if that'll show up.
We have a bunch of take it off and remove it. So.
I think I'm going to take it off. Are you ready? Voila! Okay, I took it off.
Travel safe, Amy. Designs by Laura Berger, $20. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura. Okay, I'm going to tilt a little bit. I'm kind of leery to tilt it, but I'm going to tilt just a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm tilting and then I'm taking it back to the center. Now I'm going to go to the side. I'm doing this slowly too. See, typically when you see my videos, I fast forward through a lot of this stuff. So it looks like I'm going faster than I really am. But I'm trying to keep it kind of even. This sink strainer thing is kind of like nerve-wracking.
Kat, yeah, says, I love it. A sunflower. Sharon Bowie says, I wish you didn't have to tilt it. It's very pretty. Nisa says, what would swiping do?
Well, I'm thinking...
And Nicole says, the cringe moment that comes with every tilt.
Yep.
Linda Presnell, those colors stayed in place so well, I'm surprised.
Yeah, and should I heat it with my heat gun and bring out some cells? What do you think? I probably should get a little wild and crazy and really tilt it a little bit more than I have. Let me hit it with the heat gun. Okay, that's weird. There's no cells.
Did you put OGX in there?
They all have OGX in them. Okay.
Oh, it's the same colors as that?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm going to keep tilting. I'm going to do it a little faster this time. So this may cover up some of the blue, but that's okay.
Whoa.
See, now if I hadn't wet the canvas...
Mary Fleming, $10.
Thank you, Mary. If I hadn't wet the canvas, it wouldn't be moving on the canvas very quickly at all because it would be moving on a dry canvas. So that is why I put that Oatrol kind of around the edges.
Nicole says experimentation is worth the risk.
Yes, it is. I love experimenting. Okay, here comes cells, and they're getting funky. See, there's some cells going on right there. Can you see them?
Nicole says a dragon's eye.
Now, let me bring it back this way again.
Robin Brusso with $20.
Thank you, Robin.
So, ladies and gentlemen, should I tell Sandra what I said, or should we just let it be a surprise for her?
Did they hear you? I don't know.
There's a delay. And everything you whisper gets picked up.
Okay, so now I want to swipe around here.
So Tammy Reese says it looks like looking through a kaleidoscope. And Diane Ward says, I should tell you what I said was, for anybody that tipped today would get there would be a drawing for either a small print or a digital download of one of today's drawings or paintings.
Oh, I see. So what I'm going to do is just...
Kathy's Art Corner with $1.99. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. So I'm going to go around the outskirts of this with the blue.
Yes, Diane, we whisper a lot.
And I've got some phthalo green, so I'm going to add that. This is where we're just going to play and have fun. I love to play. That's what makes me happy as an artist, is just playing. Not expecting anything particularly, just the joy of discovering what you come up with. Okay, so I'm going to have to pull out another squeeze bottle. I've got my green here. This is Deco Arts green. I'm going to come around here with this green, because we got to do something pretty around the edge and make this fun. And now I'm going to take my cup and squeeze it, so I've got a little spout, and I'm going to put the pale green beside it.
Diane Tucker says, happy to see you adding the blue and green.
Oh, it's going to get fun on the edges. Just got to get this paint out of the cup. Okay, now the yellow. And I'm trying to do this quickly, I promise. What time is it?
Stephanie Duprez says it looks like the mandolins the Buddhist monks do.
What time? Time.
It is 5:33.
So I'm squeezing out every last bit of this yellow here. And I'm going to bring out my yellow to fill in the gaps. Because what we're going to do is swipe.
Kathy's Art Corner with $9.93 or $9.99, and Kat with $2.43.
Thank you very much, Kathy and Kat. Okay, let's swipe out and see what happens. Should I put black? Should I put black here? What do you think? I think I should. That'll give it some contrast. When I swipe the colors, it'll have the black. All right, here we go. I'm going to use, where's the scraper that I gave you to rent? Oh. I'm going to use this scraper here, and I'm going to scrape out from the blue out. And then wipe. Wipe your tool every time. Don't forget. Oop, I didn't have enough paint there, but that's okay. When you're swiping, it's easier. See, the black is underneath, and that gives it some contrast. That's kind of cool. Instead of the black being on the top, it's the last color being swiped over. So the black is going to be on the bottom. Because
sink, strainer, and swipe all in one.
Yep, sink and swipe. I have seen so many gorgeous sink strainer pours, and this is not one of them, but I'm enjoying it. But when you're swiping, swipe in the direction that is comfortable for you to be able to handle it. So I'm turning my canvas as I go to make it easier for me to reach.
Metalla Banerjee, $2.
Thank you, Metalia. Metali? I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. See, I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to go to the right or towards myself. I got a little white in there, but that's okay. So let me put a little color back in through here in these areas where I didn't swipe as well. I think I can try to do it again. Put some green. Put the yellow before the black. And a little bit of this let's see, that was phthalo green, and then put some blue back right where I'm going to swipe from. See, I don't know what this will do, but I always believe that, you can always try again if it doesn't come out like you want it. I'm doing it very softly. See if I can just stick some color. If I stick some color in here and move it around with my fingers, I can almost do the same effect all by myself, just sticking my fingers in. So I'll just let that settle up right there. covering
Lisa
the...
says experimenting is what art is all about.
It is. So that's definitely different. It's not really what I expected. I thought that there would be a lot of cells. But maybe because there was not a lot of black and white between the colors, all the colors had OGX in them, but because I didn't have a color that was, there is some white and there is some cells going on around it. I'm curious too. I'm wondering. Greg.
Australia. So we have people from Canada, the United States, all across country, Denmark, France, South Africa, Australia, Minnesota to Florida, Pennsylvania.
I'm curious if I take a petal out what it'll look like. So, should I do that or should I just leave it?
Amy Gibson says she's in Wilmington, currently on board a flight to Cleveland. Can't believe I'm stretching this out. Can't turn it off.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna stretch them out. So
7:45 in the morning in Australia and 11:41 in South Africa p.m.
I was going to swipe them out, but I don't like it. It kind of muddies them up, so I'm not going to do it. But let's see. So I can kind of blow them out a little bit. So that kind of gives it a little bit more of a petal shape. I'm doing it very gently.
Nisa says it looks like a flower in a frame, and Linda Presnell says I like that.
That helped a little bit, didn't it?
Are you lightheaded? Sharon Bowie says that's correcting a little bit of the wonkiness, the blowing. And Charlene says you need to string drag a leaf. Diane Ward throws the thumbs up. Troy, North Carolina.
Don't know. Towards the beach, I think.
Huh.
So I could do, let me get I could do sour apple here and some yellow. Maybe a little white. Throw in a little green in between. Okay.
No, Troy is near you already.
Oh, it is? That's not light enough. I need my card. Where's my card? Okay. I'm going to use my card. Put in a little leaf or two. How about that? So these bottles have silicone in them. So they're going to do the smaller cells because they have silicone.
Lisa says, so pretty. Linda Presnell says, yes. Kim Rhodey says, leaf is perfect. Charlene says, that's nice. Robin, I like it. Barbara Stricker, awesome.
So I'm trying to do it as quickly as I can.
I like the cells popping out in the leaf there in the upper.
So when I drag over what I've already swiped, I'm using very soft pressure, very, very little pressure.
Tammy says, leaves are awesome. You just always know what to do.
I'm just playing.
Sandra, you put Darwin to shame with the development from one thing to another. From Stephanie Duperez.
Trying to get that leaf to come over. See, if I don't like it, I just keep working with it. I'm really stubborn that way.
Carol says, it looks great. Love watching you paint. You are definitely an inspiration.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Lisa says, don't hurry. Paul got another piece of pie and brought me another sippy sip.
Pie. I wish I had some pie.
She made him apple pie.
Apple pie. Ooh, that's good. Got to have some ice cream with it. Okay.
It's reminding me of Dahlia.
A dahlia? Yes. I'm going to see if I can move this black back over, because that's bothering me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to drag it out a little bit, give it some points.
Sharon Bowie says, wow, I love it. You have accomplished keeping the original composition without pouring it off the canvas.
I was going to tilt it off the canvas. I really was. But I decided not to.
And now people are saying Dahlia, yes.
Okay. I think I'm done. What do you think? Am I done? I don't need to do anything else. It's colorful. If not anything else, it's definitely colorful. You know me, I love color.
It's amazing, super, yes, you're done, love it, leave it. So
It is colorful. I do like the colors.
I do.
See, and I can't tilt it very much because then things start moving around if you don't keep it perfectly level. But see, there's cells popping out. They're starting to pop out underneath.
I like the cells in the leaves, though. It's clear over there.
Okay.
Cat, yes, says I really love the edges you blew out with a straw.
Thank you.
Charlene says if you like it, it's done.
Okay. So I can either wrap it up, or if y'all want to see me do one more 12-inch swipe, let me know. Do you want to see me do a 12-inch swipe, or are we done?
Swipe. That's what you said, 12-inch swipe?
A 12-inch swipe. Did you tilt the camera that way? Or has it moved on its own?
I didn't touch it. Kim Banta says psychedelic. Nasa says do another. Audrey says I could watch Sandra all day. Diane Ward says yes. Robin Brusso, one more. Diane Tucker, one more. Please, please, please. Swipe, yes, one more. I don't think anybody's going to tell you not to do it.
So you want to see a swipe? Okay. Let's swipe. Let's have fun. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay. I got to figure out how to put this hot pink in here.
I got to clear off the spot for the next painting.
No, it can stay here when it's done. Do you want me to swipe with white or black? Be thinking about that as I put my colors on here. So this is Ultra Blue Deep, which is like ultramarine blue. White or black? Black, you want it white? This is a typical crowd. They're indecisive. One wants it one way and one wants it the other. I don't have any more ultramarine blue, but so that's going to be just smeared.
So you're doing a white background then?
No, I'm talking about swiping with it. Okay, now I need. Let's go with what's left of this purpley color. Then, so these all have silicone in the bottles, so these cells will probably be smaller. This is the dioxazine purple, which is the deep purple, which I love. And I think I'll do red beside the purple. Swipes are easy, they're fun, they're quick.
Swipe with gold metallic. Why not swipe with a color? One direction black, the other direction white.
The only thing about one direction black and one...
left?
No. The only thing, I have to swipe with a color that I don't have any silicone in, and I don't have anything mixed besides black or white that doesn't already have silicone in it. That's the problem. The only thing about swiping one way with black and swiping the other way with white is that it'll sometimes turn gray on you in the middle, and it'll muddy up the colors. I love to just do a straight out swipe where it goes in one direction. I'm kind of weird like that. I got something stopped up in my little nozzle, so I'm just going to open the bottle up and pour. I would have loved to have done this with my colors that had the OGX in them, so we'd have larger cells. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do some sour apple, which is a limey green. And then some regular green. And this peacock teal color, which is like a phthalo green. And I'll tell you what, let's throw in, it's like an emerald green. It's a little bit aqua colored, but it's more of an emerald green. We'll put that there.
Kim asks if you always swipe with paint with no silicone.
Yes. You have to do the opposite. You've got to swipe with no silicone, because this has silicone, then you're going to get that reaction of cells. So if I swiped with a thing that had silicone in it, I would probably still get cells, but you're going to have more of a chance of getting cells if you have no silicone in the color that you're swiping with. You can swipe with any color you want to, but the color you swipe with needs to not have silicone, so that you will get cells. And I forgot to put my hot pink in. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to pour it right through here. I'm going to put it right through here. You see, you got to improvise when you forget. I get busy talking and then I forget what I'm doing. I'm going to put white down here. And I'm just going to take my fingers and spread it around. I'm going to swipe with black.
Karen Carpenter asks, can you do white, black, white, and a line, then swipe?
You could. I'm not sure what would happen. The easiest way to find out is you do it on your table, on your butcher paper, or you do it on a practice piece of poster board or something to test it and see if it works. So I'm going to do, I got to get my paper towel ready. So this is a 12-inch canvas. So I need, you know how paper towels come in the little pieces? So 2 pieces is basically the width of the canvas. I like to use 3 so that I don't have to worry about being short on one side. So I'm going to do it with 3 pieces. So I'm going to put my black right here. And I can kind of scoot that around with my fingers at the top, because that's just going to be pure black up there. And it's going to be funny if I don't get any cells right on live YouTube. I tell you what, that's going to be funny. Are y'all ready for me to swipe? I'm ready.
Sandra Smith says, why did you ask? You knew all along you're going to swipe with black.
Okay. So I'm laying my paper towel in the black.
So Robin says, when I do a swipe, I end up with color and cells on the right half of the canvas, but nothing on the left. And every time, any idea what I'm doing wrong?
Let it drop off your canvas. Ooh, yeah. I like it.
Did you hear me?
Yes, I heard you.
And Brad, was it Brad? I almost called you Brad Paisley. Brad Presley asks, how long will this take to dry?
These will take 24 to 48 hours to dry. The flower one and the fishy one will definitely take closer to 48 hours to dry because they're super thick with paint. This will be dry probably within 24 hours. Okay, so the question was, why does part of it not swipe and part of it does? You're not getting even enough pressure across. And that's why I used 3 pieces instead of 2 pieces, because if I use 2 pieces, I might miss this edge or miss that edge. So it's always safer to go wider than the space that you're swiping. Or like if you're doing a longer piece, then you can do it in sections, but you gotta keep it pretty controlled. I know that Julie Cuts, I think that's her name, she uses a piece, I think it's like a paper protector thing that you put your documents in to protect your papers. Or you can use like a lightweight acetate, which is like a lightweight piece of plastic. And sometimes you can get control with that. I like a damp paper towel because it's kind of lightweight. But I didn't lay it down perfectly, but look how beautiful these cells are. Now, I am going to go ahead and put the heat gun on this. So the black is thicker here. I'm going to turn it around. And I actually have these pretty little pools of paint. See down there, I've got these pretty little pools of paint that are rainbow colored at the end of my canvas. But what happens is when you don't have cells here.
So, Midnight Garden, we have Awesome Swipe. Sharon Bowie says, have a great evening. Thoroughly enjoy watching you.
Thank you.
Barbara Stryker, my project for tomorrow is swipe. Nathan says you could splatter stars in the black part.
I'm going to blow and see what happens. So when I blow in the black, I'm giving like short bursts of air, but kind of hard because you're trying to lift that paint out from underneath the black.
Karen Kernell says heat gun versus torch. Your thoughts?
The reason I use a heat gun instead of a torch is I have melted my table paper before, and I have seen my paint bubbling on the surface, so I don't use a heat torch because I'm dangerous with a heat torch. So to me, a heat gun is easier to use and safer for me. But there's nothing wrong with using a heat torch if you're good with it.
And Nisa says, Karen, I caught my painting on fire today with a torch. She did that earlier today.
Okay, so that's pretty much the color that's going to pop out in the black area. I can also tilt a little bit. But if the paint doesn't move fast enough, and it's not, I'm not going to do that because what happens is you'll squish those cells and they'll become flat, looking like little flat marshmallows. So And some of my green has come off the canvas there. So I'm just trying to get some green back. So here, we can do the little
Dodo, D-O-D-O, I think they were in France, says, say thank you, Sandra, for a super moment. They were worried about their laptop, or their battery dying.
Okay. Thank you.
Diane Tucker asked where you got the heat gun.
The heat gun you can either get it at a freight or tool company, or I have the heat gun listed in the Amazon link below my video. So you can find it in the Amazon recommendations under my video if you'd like to find it there. So I'm just going to see if I can make some little flowers here.
Kim says, I love you're moving the black a little so we can see the blues. Natalie Bongerie says, thank you, Sandra and Greg, for sharing wonderful painting. Have a great evening.
Thank you. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating something in the black just to give it a little bit of some pizzazz. You know me. I can't leave anything alone. So I'm just doing a little bit of the greens, green, sour apple, and yellow, because I love that combination together for my leaves. I'm going to take my little palette knife here.
Nisa says, whenever I blow too hard, but I play the bagpipe, so I think that has a lot to do with it. Stephanie Du Perez says, beauty sleep time, good night. And Devonish says, thank you, Sandra and Greg, great way to start my Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. So I'm basically just putting in a little bit of flowers here at the bottom. Just something to give it a little bit of something in the black. Just even dragging your skewer through it, it'll bring up some cells, which is kind of neat. You don't even have to swipe, you can just drag your skewer.
So Kim Banta says, I love your husband, is so supportive.
Yeah, I don't like that white there.
And Nisa says, when is your next live?
When is my next live? It might be next weekend, who knows?
Oh, no comment about your husband being so supportive?
My husband is supportive, yes, he is. Kim
Rhodey says, great video, goodbye. And Sandra Smith says he's a keeper, so I agree with her on that one.
So here it is. Sometimes the quick, fun ones are things like this that just happen very quickly and easily. That's the beauty of having your paint already in your squeeze bottles. And you can just squeeze it out and paint away. And I love swipes. Swiping is one of my favorite things to do. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit there. But I love colorful rainbow things. That's me. That just makes me happy. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I'm done. Hey. Hey. Hey, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. Thank you for being patient, for waiting for us to kind of come on board with the live feed and everything. I appreciate y'all being patient and hanging in there. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. And after we stop this video, it'll be on my page, on my YouTube channel. And you can always go back and watch it. It's pretty. The purple has gone up in between, in areas between the cells. And the cells are just beautiful. They're small, but they're gorgeous. Can you see the purple in there? So I'm really pleased with this one. It's my favorite of the day. But I'm going to say goodbye and let you all go. You've been watching now for an hour and a half or so, waiting on me to show up earlier. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your donations. They're greatly appreciated. And Nisa is the winner of the free print of Boom. So she gets the free print.
But the others are in the drawing for...
And then everybody goes into a drawing.
The other tippers go into a drawing.
All the other people that gave tips go into a drawing. And we will get back with you on who the winner is on that one. So make sure that if I comment below the video, after this video is over with and in my library, if I make a comment, I will put the person's name in that comment. And you will need to contact me through email because
I took care of that.
Okay. All right. Greg said he took care of that. So I'm just going to make sure that paint's on the side of my canvases. But thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a wonderful evening. And for everybody in all the other countries, I don't know what time it is, but thank you for joining in and watching. And I will see you the next time. Bye-bye.